Wellness Wednesday is brought to you by Adventist Health.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Wellness Wednesday. Anthony Vasquez alongside Rafael Juarez with Kern County Superintendent of Schools and Carmen Bravo with Bravo Nutrition. Guys, it's August, school is back in session, and you're going to show us some nice back-to-school treats, right?
Yes, so with back to school and kids being home and life just gotten that much more busier, we want to have something simple but really flavorful that's going to, keep the kids at bay until dinner's ready, right?
Yes.
So thank you again, Anthony, for having me here on this segment, and Carmen for being here to share with the folks at home the nutritional benefits of all of the simple recipes that are super easy to make and that you can include your kids in, right? So for today's recipe is, I call it papas and jitomatadas, but for this particular recipe, we're gonna do papas and tapas, right? Little snacks, little bites is what tapas usually means. And so very simple recipe. You have a little bit of vegetable oil in a saute pan. You're gonna add that to the pan. You're gonna have your pan medium to high heat, and you're going to be cooking your onions. Yes, I said onions, but that's why I mean involve your kids, because if you get them involved, they're more likely to say yes to a recipe that you give them, right? So you get your onions, you cook them for a couple of minutes till they start getting translucent. And then once your onions are translucent, you're gonna add your tomatoes, right? So your tomatoes, one of the things that I'm really excited about sharing with all of you is we're using a lot of locally sourced tomatoes. So these tomatoes here came from actually Shafter. We have Shafter Community Gardens, Casablanca Farmers, that's providing a lot of our locally sourced ingredients for us. The onions are from there, the tomatoes are from there, and the potatoes are from there too. Yeah, so all of these ingredients in this recipe were sourced very locally. So if you attend any of the schools at Richland School District, you may be going to school right next to where these ingredients were kept. But so once you get all that sauteing, right, then it's time to add, you want to season as you go. So very important, all of us chefs are taught that we season at every single layer, so that way the flavor is always great at the end, and then at the end you do a final taste for seasoning, right? So right now, basic seasoning, salt, pepper, went into the saute pan right now. Once I have my tomatoes ready and they're going pretty good and they're starting to kind of break down, then we start.
It's smelling really good. Yes. And so again, this is it's a simple recipe, but like I said, if you get the kids involved, they smell these flavors, and like you said, they're more likely to try them because they're smelling it. They're stimulating all their the gut juices. Like, okay, I'm hungry now, so they're gonna try it. Yeah.
Yep. So we have our onions, tomatoes, potatoes, diced up, and then we get ready to put our tomato paste, right? If you don't want to add any tomato paste, you can add just a little more tomatoes and a little bit of extra water, which we're going to be adding here anyways. If you don't want to add that canned ingredient, if you want to keep it strictly all fresh ingredients, right? But so we have the tomato paste. The tomato paste is going to add that just depth of flavor that a tomato paste has, very concentrated in flavor. And then the secret here is a little bit of cloves, a little bit of ground up cloves that you add to this recipe. So in fact, what I call this recipe is a poor person's tinga, a poor person's tinga. So you got no chicken. This is kind of the same things that you would make for tinga, right? But so once you have your potatoes in there, your tomato paste, your fresh tomatoes, you're gonna add a little bit of water, and then you're gonna turn down your heat to low, and you're just gonna let it simmer.
Let it simmer and cook.
15 minutes later, you have your papas and jitomatadas ready for, like I said, this is going to be a tapas and papas. Kids, in fact, they don't really like a full, protein, starch, vegetables, grains, and they actually like small little treats. And so this papas and tapas is perfect. You can put it on your favorite bread, favorite tostada.
That looks so cute.
Really cute, really
and it smells really
for sure.
good.
And then you top it with a little bit of queso, crema, whatever you want to do to it. But you make a few of those, or they can make it themselves.
It looks pretty simple too.
And they snack on it. So
and even though you're not adding like animal protein, potatoes do have protein. All vegetables have a little bit of protein. But what I like about the potatoes, it has that fiber, it keeps them full, and they're loaded with B vitamins, which is very important as they're growing and developing. So it's a the tomatoes have lots of vitamin C. As they're active in sports, you help promote that endurance, you know, that they need. So great recipe, easy, get the kids involved. Great for the summer.
1, 2,
right?
3, and done.
It looks pretty simple as well. Just 15 minutes to cook, right?
Yeah, I mean, the prep is very simple. I mean, we have about 5 minutes of prep, dicing
Yes.
the tomatoes and potatoes, get the kids involved, and then the actual cooking itself will take about 15 to 20 minutes, but you have something, you know, that doesn't take a lot of ingredients. You know, a lot of the times
Yeah.
we make a baked potato and they're like, what do we do with the rest of the 2
Yes.
other pounds that we have
Yes.
in there, right?
But look,
this is a
how
good way.
easy and simple and cute.
Yep.
Carmen, Raphael, thank you so much for your time. That's all the time we have for Wellness Wednesday, everybody. We'll be right back.